a lot of younger girls that do OnlyFans, I feel like there's a self-esteem problem that they go on these platforms for validation and currency, and I feel like that is not a good thing. Some of these baby mamas, they would go and date a man that has 5 baby mamas, multiple women pregnant and not taking care of his kids, and you're gonna think you're special because you have a superiority complex that think that you're gonna be treated different, and now you're the 6th baby mama and you're shocked. Being a parent is not only paying bills. Featurism is smaller features being put on a pedestal. Different ethnicities are very colorist, and so is the Black community. Childhood trauma can affect your self-esteem and your dating life. Putting a roof over your child's head is a bare minimum. That's what you're supposed to do as a parent. Mothers who love their sons but hate their daughters, they desperately cling onto the attention that they get from their sons and then hate their daughters because they love male attention. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and so today I'll be giving you guys my very unpopular opinions on some very controversial topics. I know a lot of people will not agree with me, but I do not give a damn. I'm just gonna say what I have to say at the end of the day. Feel free to drop a like, subscribe. If I lose subscribers from this, that's okay, because at the end of the day I'm gonna be honest with y'all and I'm gonna let y'all know my opinions on certain things. So let's just get right into the video. So guys, today I have like 10 talking points that I'll be reading from this book here. So if you see me looking down, it's just me reading from my book. Okay guys, so the first topic that I like to talk about is mothers who love their sons but hate their daughters. And this is a very interesting topic that I feel like not a lot of people talk about, because this happens a lot. A lot of these women hate their daughters because they despise their youths. They despise the fact that their daughters are younger than them, they're more youthful. They despise that their daughters have a life ahead of them because they messed up their life. They're jealous of their daughters and they're jealous of the fact that they have a life ahead of them. So what they do is they put their sons on a pedestal and they prioritize their sons because they see their daughters as competition, and also because they love the male validation that they get from their sons. A lot of these women tend to defend abusers because a lot of them are pick-me's. They love the validation, the attention that they get from men, so they love to put their sons on a pedestal and they let their sons get away with anything, but if their daughters do something, it's a big problem. And I feel like women like that are very dangerous women because they could see their daughters in dangerous situations getting abused, and they would not stand up for their daughters just because of the obsession that they have with their sons, just because they don't want to fall out with their sons that they put on a pedestal and enable. And an enabler is very dangerous because an enabler allows certain actions to go unaccounted. So they will allow their sons to go out and do the worst possible things and not hold them accountable for it, just because they still want to have a relationship with their sons, just because they love the attention that they get. Probably they can't get it from their husbands, probably they can't get it from other males, so they desperately cling onto the attention that they get from their sons and then hate their daughters, if you get what I'm saying. So the sons could hate on their daughters, the sons could abuse their daughters, and they will still stand and defend their sons because they love male attention. And I feel like that is very weird, and I see a lot of this happening, and I feel like this behavior needs to be checked and talked about a lot more. Next topic that I want to talk about is the normalization of young girls doing OnlyFans and sex work being seen as women empowerment. So my opinion on this is, I feel like a lot of younger girls, like around my age, 18, that do OnlyFans, I feel like there's a self-esteem problem because I feel like probably they didn't get enough attention as a child from their parents, that they go and on these platforms and try to sell themselves to these men and hoping for validation and currency, and I feel like that is not a good thing. Girls starting OnlyFans at the ripe age of 18 is very weird and needs to be studied because you just became legal and the first thing you decide to do is start an OnlyFans. I feel like y'all normalize this a lot. It's very weird. It's not helping the younger girls. It's not helping the youth. Y'all are teaching them to sell their bodies for currency and male validation and male attention. And that is not a good thing, because a lot of these men out here are predators, and they will subscribe to your OnlyFans and watch you and stalk you. And that is not a good thing. So be very wary if you decide to choose that as a career path. At the end of the day, do you, but that's just my opinion. I feel like there's a lack of self-esteem there. Probably you need to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, why do I want to start an OnlyFans? Why? What am I gaining from this? Because yes, you can make millions of dollars. Yes, you can make, but at what cost? You get what I'm saying? The cost of your safety, the cost of your self-esteem, that you probably lack a lot of self-esteem. But that's just my opinion on that. And I feel like a lot of y'all normalize sex workers like porn stars and all of that nonsense, and y'all try to make it seem like women empowerment, and that is not women empowerment. You giving up your bodies and having random one night stands over and over is not women empowerment. A lot of people are gonna think my points are misogynistic, but I don't think that. I also have the same standard for men, because a lot of men will go around and sleep with a bunch of women, and I feel that that's probably a self-esteem problem with them. Because if you're sleeping with a new woman every single night, I feel like you have some problems that you got to sit down with yourself and figure out. Because I feel like no normal person with a high self-esteem would give their bodies up, treat their bodies like a vessel. Like, I feel like, yes, you can have sex, but also value yourself. Do not, sell yourself for currency. Do not put yourself, like, lower yourself and allow everybody into your body. Just hold your body to a high standard. And if you want to sleep around and do that, do you, but also who you lay down with and who you let into your body. You feel me? Because I feel like people who normalize certain things like this, like ex workers and porn stars, I feel like a lot of those people are not okay, and they need therapy, because there's no way you're gonna sit down and normalize doing X work and call it women empowerment, because that's very weird. That's not empowering women in any way at all. It's not benefiting us doing X work and all of those stuff. But if you want to do that, do you, not bashing you, but that's just my opinion on that. Third opinion that I have is people love to assume attractive black women are mixed. So I feel like that is very weird, because I have a lot of people telling me I look Blasian or I have Chinese eyes. There's no such thing as Chinese eyes. You could say almond eyes, you could say siren eyes, you could say stuff like this, but I feel like there's no such thing as Chinese eyes, and I feel like that's racist. And a lot of them, whenever they see a black woman that's beautiful, they assume that you have to be mixed with something, which I think is very weird. You could just be black and beautiful. Why do I have to be mixed with so and so to be considered beautiful? And I feel like that also stems from a lot of anti-blackness, because why do I have to be mixed with another race? Why can't I just be black and beautiful? You get what I'm saying? They have to assume that for you to be beautiful, you have to be mixed with non-blackness to reach a level of beauty, and that is very weird and mixed in anti-blackness. Guys, the next topic that I want to hit on is Featurism. So Featurism is smaller features being put on a pedestal. So as you can see, looking at me, you can tell I have small features. I have a thin nose, I have small lips, and I have smaller shaped eyes. And in society, a lot of these stuff gives me privilege, and I acknowledge that, because especially in a black community where it's very futurist, it's very texturist, and a lot of people are very colorist, they put certain features on a pedestal, and I've noticed them trying to masculinize broader features, which is very weird. So they will see a black woman with a big nose and big lips and call her masculine, which is very strange and anti-black, because the beauty standard is rooted in racism. They want you to have smaller features for you to be considered beautiful, and you can have any features and be considered beautiful. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like Featurism is a very bad thing, and it doesn't benefit the black community in any way. So for y'all to sit down and put certain features on a pedestal, or even when you see slideshows of beautiful black women, you would always notice it's only women with my features. Like, put black women with bigger features on there also, because they're also beautiful. The next topic that I have to talk about is the feminization of lighter skin. So in society, a lot of communities, a lot of different ethnicities are very colorist, and so is the black community. There's a lot of colorist people in the black community, and they don't get called out enough. And whenever you call it out, they're like, oh, colorism is not a thing. Are you gonna really sit here and look me in my face and tell me colorism is not a thing? Be very for real. You feel me? And y'all love to feminize lighter skin. And did you know that's rooted in white supremacy? Did you know that? I feel like a lot of y'all need to sit down and do your research, because one thing about me, I love to research. I love to keep myself educated and learn how to be on top of things. So when you feminize lighter skin, you're like, oh, lighter skin women are feminine, but darker skin women are masculine. You're racist. That's racist ideologies, because the beauty standard for society is whiteness. And these racist people say you have to be white to be seen as feminine. You have to be white. So you associating lighter skin with being more feminine, you're very colorist and you're feeding into white supremacy. If you do that, you gotta sit down with yourself and you gotta work some stuff out, because baby, you need help. Okay, next topic that I have to talk about is childhood trauma can affect your self-esteem and your dating life. I'm a very honest person. I feel like I could be honest with y'all, let y'all know things. I used to have low self-esteem. I figured that out. You know how I figured out I had low self-esteem? Because I allowed people to treat me any type of way. And I had to sit down with myself and I had to say, hold up. What is going on? What is the root of this problem? What is it about me that allow these people to treat me this way? Do I view myself less than? Is that why I allow these people to talk to me crazy? Is that why I allow my partner to talk to me crazy? Is that why I allow my partner to treat me disrespectful? Because I was in a relationship, I was in a very toxic relationship, and I realized that I would sit down and I would allow my partner to cuss me out and say all these things about me, and I would break up with them, but I would get back in a relationship with them. I had to stop myself. And why do I go back to this relationship? I realized that my childhood trauma affected how I was in a relationship, because I was always giving and hoping that if I gave enough, they would love me and treat me better. And that was a self-esteem issue that I didn't address. So I had to sit down with myself and figure out the root of the problem, why I allowed this person to talk to me crazy, why I allowed this person to treat me like shit, and I kept going back to them. It was because of a lack of self-esteem, and because I felt like my parents didn't love me when I was younger, my parents didn't protect me, my parents weren't there for me. And that's why when I go in relationships, I tend to give more than I receive in order or in hopes that my partner would love me. And some very toxic men would take advantage of that. So be very careful. And I sat down with myself and I said to myself, oh, you need to love yourself more. And I sat down and I took the work and I took the time to love myself more and know my worth and know that I don't have to give all of me just to receive 1% back. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like self-esteem is a very important thing, and a lot of younger girls need to look into yourself, like look into your self-esteem. Sit down with yourself and analyze what you allow, analyze your inner thoughts, the things that you say to yourself, analyze, certain situations that you put yourself in, because you can also be contributing to how you are being treated, because you don't treat yourself better. You don't stand up for yourself. Like, you don't stand up for yourself in relationships. You allow them to walk over you in hopes that you would have a partner. That's something that you got to sit down and assess and work on. And yeah, my next topic is you can date outside of your race without degrading others. My thoughts on interracial dating, I feel like date who you want to date. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't give a rat's ass. An octopus could drop out of... You could date an octopus and I still wouldn't care. Probably a marine biologist would care more than I do, because baby, I do not give a shit. Date who you want to date, but I would see this discourse online where a lot of black men would date outside of their race. And people would ask them, oh, why are you dating that woman? And they bring a black woman, which is very weird. They ask you why you're dating this white woman, and the first thing you do is bring a black woman. Like, they on the internet talk about, I'm with this lady because, black women don't do this and that. No. You want to date somebody, you date them because you love them and because you like them, not because another person is doing this. Why are you worried about another person if you're in a relationship with somebody else? Date who you want to date. Stop degrading other people while you're in these relationships. Like, that's very weird behavior. Uplift your partner without having to degrade somebody else, because if you have to degrade somebody else to uplift yourself or your partner, that's very insecure and weird behavior. So my next topic are for the quote-unquote baby mamas. So my opinion on baby mothers are they're very strong women. A lot of them are very strong women, because to be raising a child on your own is a lot of work, especially financially, emotionally. It could mentally, it could be very draining because you're the only parent that's contributing to your child's life. It could be very detrimental also to the child's, like, you know, self-esteem, because they could be like, oh, why didn't my father stay? Oh, why didn't my father love me? Oh, why? You get what I'm saying? And they could also try to find love in certain places or in toxic relationships. So what I have to say is they're very strong women. Respect to them. You know, they're raising a child on their own. A lot of them are raising kids on their own, and I would see in the media a lot, they bash the baby mothers, but they don't bash the fathers that leave as much as they bash the baby mamas. Like on social media, and I would see men in the comments bashing baby mamas, making songs about them, and just making fun of them. But a lot of those men come from single mothers, so it's like making fun of single mothers while you came from a single mother is dirty work. Like, that's very crazy work, you feel me? Because you come from a mother where your father wasn't present, but you're gonna sit down and bash a woman that's present for her child. Why don't you bash the father? And also, why don't you also take the time to bash the father for leaving your life? No, they resent their mothers for their fathers leaving, and I feel like that's very crazy work. Next thing I want to say about this topic, some of these baby mamas are very weird people, because a lot of them would notice that this man has multiple baby mamas. They would go and date a man that has 5 baby mamas, and then be surprised when she's the 6th. Like, be very for real. You put yourself in that situation knowing you should have walked away, because he has multiple women pregnant and not taking care of his kids, and you're gonna think you're special because you have a superiority complex that think that you're gonna be treated different, and you stay with the man, and now you're the 6th baby mama and you're shocked. Be very for real. Be very for real. And if you have 2 kids by him and you notice that he's not taking care of the 2 kids, why in the heck would you go and have another kid with him hoping that he will change? He's still gonna treat you horrible, just like when you had the 2 kids. So why would you go ahead and have another child by him? Be very expeditiously for real. Yeah. The next topic that I have to talk about is being a parent is not only paying bills. A lot of black parents, or a lot of parents in general, would think that, oh, I pay all these bills, blah, 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 blah. I put food on the table, roof over your head. That makes you a good parent. That does not make you a good parent. A parent is supposed to put a roof over her head. You don't get any cool points for putting a roof over your child's head. You sat down and you laid down and you chose to conceive a child. So why are you surprised at the responsibilities that comes with the actions that you chose to do? You chose to open your legs. Nobody told you to bust it open, but yet you did. And when you had this child, you chose to have this child. When you had this child, you get shocked and overwhelmed by the responsibilities. And I would notice a lot of mothers that have one child and they realize their responsibilities and they continue to have more. And then as their child is growing, they grow up and resent their children and hate their children and bash their children because they didn't get to have the life that they wanted to because they have kids. Nobody told you to lay down. You took that up on yourself. You didn't lay down one time, you lay down twice, third, fourth, 5th times, and you pushed out all these babies, and then you get shocked with the responsibilities that you have to, which makes no sense to me. Like, putting a roof over your child's head is a bare minimum. That's what you're supposed to do as a parent. You're not gonna push out a child and have them homeless. Be very for real. You're supposed to have a house or a roof over your child's head. You're supposed to provide your child food, because if you don't, that's neglect. You feel me? You took that responsibility up on yourself. You need to handle that. And a lot of these parents think just providing is enough to be a good parent. You have to be present in your child's life. A lot of these parents have kids. They don't know how their child's day is going. They don't help their children with homework. They're not there for their child emotionally. All they do is yell, provide food, a bed, and house, and think that makes them this top tier parent of the year. No, babe, you actually have to put in the work, okay? Cute. And my next and last topic is, if you have to give a man an ultimatum to be with you, baby, go ahead and leave. If you have to sit down with a man and be like, oh, stop liking these girls half naked pictures on Instagram or I'm leaving, you should just leave. Because baby, if he respected you enough, he wouldn't sit down and like those half naked pictures knowing that you would see them, knowing that another woman could be sitting down laughing at you, being like, oh, look at her man liking my half naked pics. He would respect you enough to not do something like that. So if you have to give a man an ultimatum, oh, marry me by my December 25th or I'm leaving, you, just leave. Because if he really wanted to, he would. And I don't understand people that be in long ass relationships for 7 years, 10 years, and still the woman wants marriage, but they would stay in these 7-10 year relationships and see no sign of marriage and then give them the ultimatum. Baby, just leave. Respect yourself, pack up your respect, pack up your self-esteem, and walk through the door. Because you deserve better. You're a queen, know your worth. Don't let no man ever feel like you gotta put him, you have to give him a choice to pick you, or no. If you have to ask your man to pick you, you need to leave, because that shouldn't even be a question. But yeah, guys, that's it for my video. If you want me to do more unpopular opinions, let me know. Let me know your thoughts below on my opinions. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love y'all and have a great day. Bye.